On today's episode, we discuss my thoughts on WrestleMania 41. I'm Stephen Connor, and you're tuning into the Stephen Connor Show. What's going on, everybody? Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, hit that post notification bell so you can get notified whenever I upload a video. Without further ado, let's get started with today's video. So we will be discussing WrestleMania 41. It took place this past weekend, April 19th through 20th. I gave my thoughts on Monday Night Raw. So if you want to see that, please click the description and it will be a link to that video right there. But without further ado, let's get started with this video. So, Jey Uso defeated Gunther by submission. This match was for the World Heavyweight Championship. When I tell you that they saved this story, and what I mean by that is this story was not good. This story was not compelling to me. They had just did Gunther versus Jey Uso the week before Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble at Saturday night's main event, which makes me feel like Saturday's night main event doesn't matter as much. But they ran the match at Saturday's night main event, and Jey Uso lost. And I felt like every time Jey Uso got a world title or title opportunity, he always lost. He always did not capitalize on the moment. And I felt like this was the year that WWE had to let him win Money in the Bank or just let him straight up win the world title somehow. But I did not expect for him to win the Royal Rumble. But they did. And once they did, they had him have this confidence, a crisis. The internet community on Twitter and everything start disliking him. He started getting massive dislikes ratio. The dislikes were more than the likes. It was insane. However, what saved this story was Jimmy Uso sacrificing himself on the card of WrestleMania this year by taking a brutal beatdown by Gunther, and that turned Jey Uso serious. We saw a different side of Jey Uso. And so Jey Uso went to WrestleMania and he did what he had to do and he won the world title. And how did he do that? He made Gunther tap out. Now I see people complaining about it. Me personally, I think it's okay. He was hit by like 4 finishers or something before that. So it makes sense. And he did the same thing with Ilya. And people going to say, oh, Ilya's not Jey. Don't compare them to. It's the same thing that happened. Literally, the exact same finish. Almost exactly the same finish. Jey Uso is not the best wrestler in the world, but Jey Uso was over with the crowd. We talk about we want people to be over with the crowd. We talk about how WWE should push people when they get over organically, and he did, and they did it. And Jey Uso got rewarded for that. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But shout out to Jey Uso. That was unexpected, and the crowd went crazy. Yeeted and Jimmy even came out and celebrated with him. Next up, we have the New Day defeating the War Raiders for the World Tag Team Championships. I felt like that the TLC tag match should have been on the card over this, but this match was okay. It was just there to get the New Day the tag team titles, and that's all this was. Like I said, the match was okay. I just think that the SmackDown tag division deserved to be on here. Next, we had Jade Cargill versus Naomi, and Jade Cargill ended up winning the match. It was a fantastic match, I must say. I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. And that powerbomb that Jade hit, y'all can't call her green no more because that powerbomb was next level. It was next level. It was a good win for Jade. Naomi looked good. I like her new theme song, and I'm ready to see what direction they move in next. Next, we had Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight for the United States Championship. This was the most unpredictable match for me for the whole weekend. It really was. And I really felt that way going into that match, and I felt that way watching it. LA Knight walked in as champion, of course. He did not walk out that way. I thought Solo would cost Jacob Fatu the match. However, he did not. He didn't interfere or anything whatsoever. Jacob did it on his own. Haku celebrated with him, and it was a really good, fun match. It was a spot where Jacob, I think, was going for his moonsault, and then he got caught with a BFT in midair. I thought it was over, but it wasn't. And then finally, Jacob hit the 2 moonsaults, and he ended up winning. And the Samoan Werewolf is the champion. So shout out to Jacob Fatu. Great match. Next up, we had El Grande Americano, who is definitely not Chad Gable, defeated Rey Fenix. That was a that was a fun match. I'm just happy that El Grande Americano finally got to be on WrestleMania and show his skills. Of course, he cheated to win. He put the little padding under his mask and used that. I thought they were going to unmask him, but they didn't. So I'm actually interested to see where this storyline goes with El Grande Americano. Next up, we had Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. Now, these two, I think they had real heat with each other. I ain't gonna lie to you. The build to this was kind of wacky because Charlotte was burying Tiffany. And then, of course, we know the famous line, you're 0-3, Charlotte. Woo! You're gonna leave Sunday, WrestleMania, just like you do, just like you are in real life, alone. And then Charlotte said, tell Ludwig to get out my DMs. Yeah, that apparently they had real heat with each other, and you could see it in the match. Them punches look vicious, but Papa H did it. One of the three things in life is no longer death, taxes, and Charlotte Flair winning the WWE Women's Championship. Nope, Tiffany time. It was Tiffy time. She won, she retained, and I'm so excited to see what they do next with her. But Tiffy retained, Charlotte lost. It was an amazing moment. And last but not least, for night one, we had Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk with Paul Heyman in his corner for the main event of night one. When I tell you this match cooked, this match cooked. The match was awesome. The spots they had, the finishers they hit, the selling was amazing. The spot where Seth was trying to make the Shield come back together with Roman, like, we should be against him. It should be us helping each other. It's us versus him. But the moment where they all hit the finishers and he went and grabbed the chair and gave the chair to CM Punk, and Roman was so heartbroken. Then when he low blowed CM Punk, and Roman was happy, and Roman tore Punk up with the chair, and then he said, my tribal chief, get Seth. And he went, and Roman was about to hit him, and then Paul broke everybody's heart. Roman is now a chief with no tribe, like Cody Rhodes said he would be. The OTC got curb stomped and got pinned. I couldn't believe it. The wise man Paul Heyman has aligned himself with Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins got the win. I felt he needed to win, and I'm really happy with the outcome. And that was night one. I enjoyed night one. The ending really was great. Like I said, Seth and Paul Heyman, that turn, I think I consider it a heel turn. It was great. It was really great. That was great. I loved it. It was pure cinema. We kicked off night two with Io Sky versus Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Io Sky retained the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, and that was a great match. Everyone looked good. Io sacrificed her body. She did some crazy stuff. She hit some crazy moves like she always do. But she pulled out the win. She pinned Bianca. And like I said, it was just a fun match, and I enjoyed every second of it. I'm interested to see what they do with Bianca after this, because I really did think Bianca was going to win this match, but they let Io retain. So I'm pretty interested to see what Bianca does, but this was just a fun match. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. This is one of those matches that I did not want. I really didn't want. However, I didn't realize the story. Damian Priest beat Drew McIntyre for the world title after CM Punk screwed him. He retained after CM Punk screwed him at Clash of the Castle. He retained after CM Punk screwed him at Money in the Bank. He eliminated Drew from the Royal Rumble. He eliminated Drew from the Elimination Chamber. So it was a good story. The story made sense. Drew McIntyre got the best of Damian Priest over the last year due to CM Punk and due to unfortunate circumstances for Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre wanted his licks back, basically. And Drew McIntyre needed to win this because they set him up as this big bloodline hunter, and we thought he was going to have a huge program with Roman, and they didn't. We were talking about how this, that, and third with Damian, but they had a really fun, really good build, and the match was good. When he put him through the tables at the end and that Claymore looked so vicious, Damian Priest really sold that. He really sold that. But Drew McIntyre got the victory, and I think it's the right call. Next, we had the moment of WrestleMania. We had one of the biggest moments of all time. The best Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, versus Finn Balor, Braun Breaker, and Penta in a fatal four-way match for the Intercontinental Championship. This match slapped on so many levels. And the pop Dominic got when he hit Finn and pushed him into the ropes, it was go for the 619, and then Finn caught him, bro. And then when he went up, was about to hit the frog splash, and Finn stopped him, hit breaker, and then hit him with the coup de grace, and then the frog splash, and the 1, 2, 3. Dominic did it. Dominic, bro, the crowd was so loving it for Dom. Dom was so over. You deserve it. The greatest Mysterio in history. Dirty Dom Mysterio. Look at what he overcame. He had a deadbeat father, for God's sakes. A deadbeat father, and look at what he overcame. Look at what he did. He is now the Intercontinental Champion, and I'm so happy. I'm so for this, and I cannot wait to see what he does with this belt. But shout out Dirty Dom. He pinned Finn Balor. I can't wait to see where this story goes. So yeah. Next up, we had Randy Orton, and he in his WrestleMania Open Challenge. And who answered it? Was it Rusev? No. Was it Nick Aldis? No. Was it Aleister Black? No. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Yeah, that pop was crazy for him. Made his WrestleMania debut. I saw some people say it should have been for the TNA World title. Why? Joe got squashed. Well, he ain't get squashed. The match was 3 minutes and 10 seconds. He got squashed to me. That's a squash match. I mean, let's be real. But it was a fun moment. And then after the match, Randy Orton gave him the rub, then RKO'd him. And then Randy Orton did the little Joe Hendry thing and said, It was a cool moment for Randy. I wish it was Kevin Owens. I pray Kevin gets better soon. But that punt kick he would have hit to Kevin would have fed families for years. Next up, we had Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. It was a not great, but it was a pretty good match in my opinion. I enjoyed it. I love Logan Paul's finisher. I'm gonna get hate for that, but I just love the way it looks. It's really good. It's really fun. A lot of people are upset because they feel like Logan Paul is ruining wrestling by beating AJ Styles. AJ Styles is a GOAT in many people's eyes, including me, one of the best wrestlers ever, and he's losing to a YouTuber. And they felt like that he was going to legitimize Logan Paul by beating him. But I felt like Logan needed to win more than AJ. AJ can suffer the loss. But could Logan suffer the loss and bounce back is the real question. And I don't know if he could have. And some people might have wanted that, but Logan Paul has insane heat, and Logan Paul is a really good wrestler. We have to. You can dislike him all you want, but you have to admit Logan Paul is talented. He is a talented individual. He is talented. He really is, and we need to realize that, and we need to accept that. I really do believe we need to accept that. At the very least, we need to accept that he's talented. You don't have to like him, but he's talented. And Karrion Kross was trying to help Allen out. I'm going to call him Allen because that's what Karrion Kross calls him. Allen out. He was like, don't you do this. Don't you legitimize him. And AJ didn't cheat. And instead, he pushed Karrion Kross out the way. And Logan Paul capitalized. And then AJ Styles lost. I think Logan Paul might end up having a really big year this year. I could see them putting the Money in the Bank contract on him or LA Knight. We'll see what happens. There's a lot of stuff that could happen this year. I'm really excited for this upcoming few months in the rest of the year of professional wrestling. Next up, we had Liv and Raquel versus Lyra Valkyria and a mystery partner because the partner she won the tag team turmoil with on SmackDown 2 weeks ago got injured, which was Bayley, and got attacked. So who answered the call? It was big time Becky Lynch. It was the man, Becky Lynch. It was Seth Rollins' other half, Becky Lynch. And she came out, and it made sense. Her and Lyra had a feud for the NXT title. She gave Lyra the rub. Lyra was a mentor to Lyra, and Liv Morgan is the last person she faced before she left WWE. So she had to get her lick back, and she did. They ended up winning the tag team titles. We all know what happened last night on Monday Night Raw, but I was happy to see Becky. But then when I realized what was going to happen, it's like, nah. I really want to Liv and Raquel to keep the titles. They wrote that wrong, but it was a good return. It was a pretty good, decent return. The crowd was hyped. It was cool, and hey, it was a good WrestleMania moment. And then last but not least, we had the main event of WrestleMania Night 2, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. One of the most controversial main events ever. The ending is very controversial. John Cena, the match itself was pretty decent to me. People were expecting The Rock, Stone Cold, and Seth Rollins to interfere in the main event and align himself with John Cena in the final boss. Someone did interfere, It was not Seth Rollins. It wasn't the final boss. The final boss went on the Pat McAfee show today and said that he wanted it to be about Cody and John. He didn't want to overshadow the John heel turn. That's what he said on the Pat McAfee show. Those are his words. But Travis Scott came out, and all you heard was Fiend, 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 and it was pretty interesting. He pulled the ref out of the ring. Then he went in the ring with Cody. And John was just smiling. He's smiling. He's smiling. He had a stupid grin. And Paul Heyman, after he turned on Roman, the faces them two was making was something. Main event of night one face. And then night two. It's hilarious. But Travis Scott came out. And then Travis Scott, like I said, pulled the ref out the ring when Cody Rhodes hit They did this story. I don't know if people been paying attention to Cena since like 2018. All his matches are the same to me in his stories. And I don't mean no shade by it. I don't mean any disrespect. I love John Cena. And I love his matches. But he hits like 15 million finishers, and then somebody hits one finisher on him, and he's done. That's what happened with Cody. But Travis Scott was there. Travis Scott went for the punch. Cody reversed it into a crossroads, got his lick back. And then John Cena grabbed the title, went to hit it. Cody took it from him, and Cody contemplated. And I see people, why was he contemplating? He didn't do that with Kevin. Well, John Cena is his childhood hero, and he saw how low Cena stooped. Maybe he didn't want to stoop that low, and he had a choice to make. He either win by winning the right way, a modest way, or do anything necessary. When he took the modest way, and it cost him because Cena hit him in the balls, and then Cena hit him with the title, and 1, 2, 3, 17-time world champion. I did not think that's how the match was going to go. I did not think that's when it was going to end. I thought it was going to be a much brutal beatdown and vicious ending than that. However, it was not. And so that's how it ended. John Cena 117, no huge celebration, no nothing. He just walked off with the belt, turned on his booty, and he's here to ruin professional wrestling. And he's the last real champion, and Travis Scott walked out with him. I just never thought that we would get the John Cena heel turn, and let alone with Travis Scott. If you would have told me in 2015 that the dude who made Antidote was going to be a part of John Cena's heel turn and align with John Cena and The Rock, and that Stardust was going to main event against John Cena, and Travis Scott was going to be the big surprise who interrupts it, I would never believe you. I would never listen. It's wild to me. It's wild. But that was the end for WrestleMania. Night 2 was really good. I liked Night 2 better than Night 1. Even though I'm a Cena fan, I clearly liked the match with Cena. I ain't gonna lie. The ending was weird. I ain't gonna lie to you. That it felt underwhelming, but then again, what can you do? Hey, they did the best they could with the situation they were given, because The Rock wasn't there. So. And we should have known when Stone Cold came out to announce the attendance that he wasn't. But I like Night 1's main event. My favorite match of the whole weekend has to be the women's triple threat match. The women's triple threat match was my favorite match over the weekend. My least favorite match? What was my least favorite match? I guess it was the New Day match. It was my least favorite match. But like I said, I was looking forward to WrestleMania. My biggest con with WrestleMania is not The Rock or anything like that not showing up. My biggest con was that the SmackDown tag titles worked themselves up all the past year, building itself back up with a compelling story with all these teams just to get the short end of the stick. And I put the TLC match on the Friday night after WrestleMania. It should have been on Mania, and the New Day could have just been on Raw. But that's just my opinion. You let me know how you feel down below. Like I said, the women's triple threat match cooked. The most unexpected moment for me was Tiffy retaining and Jey Uso tapping out Gunther. The most surprising moment was Paul Heyman turning on Roman and Seth. And my favorite moment is tied for Dirty Dom and John Cena, both winning Intercontinental and 17th World Championship. So you let me know what you think in the comment section down below. That's just my opinions. It's not factual. It's not right. It's just my opinion. You let me know your opinion down below. And until next time, y'all, be good people. Steven Cutter out. Peace.